Entry-level smartphones have always been something of a hit or miss. Manufacturers understand that they can't just make one device that fits all, and that's why we typically have 2 or 3 device releases a year. Samsung isn't a stranger to this and actually has 2 current entry-level flagship devices. In the S series, it's the Galaxy S22, and in the Z series, it's the Galaxy Z Flip 4. Today, what we're going to do is take a look at how these moderately high-end devices compare to each other, and hint, there are a lot of specs that are very similar with the exception of a few major ones. So what are you going to get for all of that money you spent? Well, you're going to get a quick start guide, you're going to get a USB Type-C to C cable, and a SIM ejector tool. You could probably guess this, but the S22 has the more affordable starting price between the two, coming in at a starting price of $799.99 with 128 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. Adding $50 more will get you double the storage, but the amount of RAM will stay the same. The Flip 4 does come in at $200 more than the S22 for its base model. Its starting price is $999.99 with 128 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. Add $60 more and you can double your storage. The Flip 4 does actually have a bit of an advantage here because it does have one more storage option, which is 512 gigabytes. For that, you'll have to dish out an extra $180 from the starting price of this device. The S22 comes in 5 standard colors and 4 Samsung.com exclusive colors. Those standard colors are Bora Purple, Pink Gold, Phantom Black, Phantom White, and Green. The Samsung.com exclusive colors are Graphite, Cream, Sky Blue, and Violet. Now at this point in time, the Samsung.com exclusive colors are no longer available on their website. However, I figured I would mention these colors just in case someone buys a used S22 and stumbles upon one of these colors. The standard colors for the Flip 4 are Bora Purple, Graphite, Pink Gold, and Blue. There is also a special edition of the Flip 4 called the Bespoke Edition, which allows you to customize the Flip 4 with 6 different color choices for the front panel, 6 different choices for the back panel, and 3 different choices for the frame of the device. As you can see here, my Flip 4 is both red and gold, and this was customized by me on Samsung.com using the Bespoke Edition option. This special edition does add $40 more to the price tag and could take up to 3 weeks to ship. Also, not every color combination is available, so I would definitely suggest you take a look at Samsung.com to get an idea for what is going to be available. The S22 is available in all color choices and both storage options, while the Flip 4 is available in the standard color choices with any storage option, but the customizable Bespoke Edition is only available in 256 gigabytes, unfortunately. Both devices make use of Armor aluminum for the frame of their bodies and Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the front and back sides. The Flip 4 uses Samsung's ultra-thin glass to both fold and protect the inner display. The S22's display is very minimal with slim bezels and a camera that is situated at the top. The Flip 4 by design has an extra display on the outside called the cover screen. The main display on the Flip 4 is similar to the S22, with the biggest difference being that it is much taller and has a horizontal crease in the middle of it. Another difference between the two is that the Flip 4 can fold its screen in half to make it more compact. The compact advantage isn't all clear though, since when it's folded, the Flip will take up more space in thickness than the S22 while it's in a pocket. On the back of the S22, you have a matte glass finish and 3 cameras over to the top left. When you open the Flip 4, I guess technically speaking, the top cover becomes the back, so the back of the Flip 4 has a glossy finish at least on the bespoke edition. I can't really speak for the regular colors because I have not seen them. You also have two cameras here that can act as both your rear cameras and your front-facing cameras when the device is closed. One thing to note is that the glass on this particular version of the Z Flip 4 is extremely slippery. If you put this on a wireless charger or some other surface without a case, don't be surprised if you come back and it's fully moved off of it. The left side of the S22 doesn't really have anything going on. It's very smooth to the touch and very simplistic, while on the Z Flip 4, you have your SIM card tray here and a very large antenna breather. On the right side of the S22, you have your power button and your volume up and down rocker, as well as an antenna breather here, while on the Z Flip 4, your volume button and power button are situated closer to the top, which means that if you have short fingers, you might have a little bit of a problem accessing them. But that power button also doubles as your fingerprint reader, so you have a reason to actually stretch your fingers. There's not really much going on here on the top of both devices, with the only significant thing being one microphone. On the bottom of the S22, you have a speaker grill, your charging port, one microphone, and this is where your SIM card tray lies on this device. On the Z Flip 4, you have a similar sized speaker grill, charging port also, and two microphones, and that's pretty much it. If you're looking for more protection from the elements, then the Galaxy S22 definitely takes the win here. It's equipped with an IP68 certification, while the Z Flip 4 there's only an IPX8 certification, which means it can withstand being submerged in water to the same depth as the S22, but it is not protected or even rated for dust, which is understandable since it has this hinge. The S22 has a 6.1-inch display, while the Flip 4 has two displays, a 1.9-inch cover screen and the larger 6.7-inch inner display. Both displays do have the same resolution and are capable of reaching 120 Hz, but one thing I've noticed is that the S22's display has a slight white tint to it. It's not something that ruins the experience of using the display, but it's just something to be aware of. Both devices come equipped with LPDDR5 RAM, however, their processors are a teeny bit different. The Galaxy S22 has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, while the Z Flip 4 has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 Plus. The 8 Gen 1 Plus is about to become old since the release of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is on the horizon, but this processor is capable of maintaining excellent performance for all of your basic tasks, and they should both be adequate enough for all of your graphical needs, like playing games or using an advanced photo and video editor on both of these devices. One thing I did want to mention is that both of these devices are on Android 12 for this part of this graphical test, which means the numbers here should be more accurate. The S22 does have an Android 13 upgrade waiting for it, but I've been postponing that for days just to make sure I could do this test in the most accurate way possible. Both devices have the full range of 5G tech within them, so data speeds will be as fast as they can be wherever they can be. Both devices also come with Bluetooth 5.2, Wi-Fi 6, and all of the other connectivity standards you'd come to expect on a flagship device. Both devices have 10 megapixel front-facing cameras. If you're going for versatility in cameras, then the S22 has definitely got the Z Flip beat here. It has 3 rear cameras that consist of a 12 megapixel, 50 megapixel, and a 10 megapixel telephoto camera. Optical zoom goes up to 3 times and digital zoom goes up to 30 times. The 2 rear cameras on the Flip 4 are both 12 megapixels, and you only get up to 1 times optical zoom and up to 10 times digital zoom. Z Flip's cameras are definitely not bad. In fact, Samsung stated that they've improved the low light performance on the Z Flip. However, we're only going to be able to see that if we take a look at some sample pictures, which is what we're going to do now. Alright, so now as usual, we are going to go ahead and move on to the audio test of both phones. And as a warning, as always, go ahead and adjust your volume because I am not going to be controlling the volume and it's going to get pretty loud. It's going to get very, very loud. Especially this one. There's a lot of brass in this, so go ahead and adjust your volume right now. And we're going to go ahead and see what these speakers on both of these phones sound like. And of course, the audio test would not be complete without a microphone test, so we're going to move right into that. This is a test of the microphones on the Galaxy S22 and the Galaxy Z Flip 4. Hopefully these mics come out sounding very clear and premium because even though these are entry-level devices, they are very high-end. This is a test of the microphones on the Galaxy S22 and the Galaxy Z Flip 4. Hopefully these mics come out sounding very clear and premium because even though these are entry-level devices, they are very high-end. Battery capacity on both of these devices is exactly the same, with the exception that the Z Flip 4 has two cells that make up that total 3700 milliamps. Wire charging is capped at 25 watts, wireless charging is capped at 15, and your reverse wireless charging, if anybody still uses that, is capped at 4.5 watts. Now what we are going to do is move on to my battery drain test, and I feel like I've explained this a lot of times, but I'll do it one more time just in case for anybody who hasn't watched. I use the same exact test I used in my processor portion of this comparison because it works out both the processor and the graphical processing unit at the same time, so this should take down a significant chunk of battery if it's going to take down a significant chunk of battery. So this test takes about 20 minutes. I'm going to set it and forget it, and I will be back when it's done, or at least somewhere around that time. Okay, so I am back again, and let us see exactly where these batteries are. So as you can see here, the S22 is at 89%, and the Z Flip 4 actually dropped 1%, as I was about to tell you all what the battery life was. So it's at 88%, but it was at 89% like a few seconds ago. So there you have it. The efficiency on both phones is pretty much kind of the same. Moving right along, we're going to go ahead and do the charging test. So both devices are at 61%, as you can see here, and we're just going to go ahead and charge these for 30 minutes and see how far they get. And I'm going to go ahead and use my new cables again, which will tell you the wattage at which these are charging at. I'll leave that on for about 10 seconds, and then I'll just go ahead and cut the video to how far they got after that 30 minutes. Alright, so the S22 is sitting at 97%, and the Z Flip 4 is sitting at 98%, so just 1% more. And with that 1% more, the phone says that you'll get 1 hour more of usage.
interesting.
The software differences between both devices aren't too vast. Basically, the only thing that is truly going to be different from here to here is going to be the fact that you have the software that governs the cover screen here, which lets you access things like your quick toggles, your lock screen widgets here, and your notifications if you have any. It also lets you manage Samsung Pay, or basically use it while the cover screen is closed. If you were to go ahead and use the software on the main display of the Z Flip 4 and the screen of the S22, you're not really going to find any differences here either. It's basically the standard Samsung affair with all of the things you'd come to expect. One thing that is pretty cool about both of these devices, and not even the Z Fold 4 has this option, you can go ahead and download more edge panels from the Galaxy store here. And this just really expands on the functionality of what both devices can do. If you've ever used edge panels before, you'd know that there are some convenient ones, although most of them are kind of weird. But they do increase the functionality, and the Z Flip 4 does have this, which did surprise me. If you are wishing that the cover screen on the Z Flip 4 had more functionality, you can actually get more functionality with it by using a particular app called the Cover Screen OS. This application in its base form allows you to use full screen applications directly on the cover screen of your Z Flip 4 or your Z Flip 3 for that matter. If you are interested in learning more about this, I do have a video on the Cover Screen OS app, and I'll go ahead and put the link to that video in the top right corner. So that is it for this comparison, and essentially both of these phones are very similar, just with minor differences, and I guess you could say major differences when it at least comes to the cameras on the S22. It really comes down to, do you want something that is going to be more compact and give you a large screen, or do you want something that is going to not necessarily be as compact as the Z Flip 4, but will give you the added benefit of having something like a up to 30 times zoom camera? Really, that choice is going to be up to you, but either one you choose is going to be a great device, and I can say that overall, having used these for a while. So with that being said, wherever you are in the world, have a good day, a great afternoon, a good evening, or a good night, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.